Why, hi there, I'm Ron Chuckett, and Retro Sports Network presents Pro Baseball 64. Today, a doubleheader from Candlestick Park in San Francisco, as the San Francisco Giants host the St. Louis Cardinals on June 10th, 1964, or 25 years before I graduated from high school. So if you do the math, I'm not even born yet. But that's the way it is, and we have a dandy for you from old Candlestick. In the first game, we have Bob Henley pitching against Bob Gibson. And let's take a quick look at the standings. To tell you that the Pittsburgh Pirates, even playing 500 ball, have a 5.5 game lead over the Cincinnati Redlegs. The San Francisco Giants are in third place, but they've lost their last 6. They need these two games desperately. They're 28 and 22 as they play their 51st and 52nd games. The Cardinals are 27 and 25. They've won 4 straight, and they are about to get Lou Brock. This is about how far they were behind the Phillies when they started making their charge in the real-life years. So you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 teams above 500 in the National League. All of them really have a chance, depending on what Pittsburgh does. So San Francisco has lost 2 games. They were within 5. In the American League, the Yankees have finally caught the Twins. The Twins are now in a tailspin. They've only won 3 out of their last 10. They've lost 3 straight. The Yankees and Red Sox are about to play a doubleheader. I thought about doing that one instead, but we teased this one for so long I felt like I couldn't change it. So the Yankees could be in first place by themselves in the American League, with Baltimore and Chicago starting to play a little bit better. Baltimore 28 and 21. You'll see the White Sox and the Yankees Saturday from Yankee Stadium. So let's give you the lineups around Bob Henley. It's Willie McCovey in left, Willie Mays in center, Duke Snyder is in right, and yes, every time I say that, it's still weird. Jim Ray Hart is the opening game third baseman, Garrido is the shortstop, Chuck Killer is at second, Orlando Cepeda is at first. Tom Holler gets the call behind the plate in game 1. Or is it Chuck? Anyway, Holler behind the plate, he's a 7 and 5. Defensively for the Giants, there's no one to write home about really in the infield, and Mays is the best defender. He's a 10 and 10. Let's tell you about Bob Henley. He is 1 and 5 on the year. This is not the guy you want to snap a 6-game losing streak with a 5.64 ERA. In 67 innings, he's allowed 84 hits. He's a better pitcher than that. He was 163 and 161 on those numbers in the real year. 9 homers, he walked 23 and struck out 45. Now, here's the lineup for St. Louis. It's Curt Flood leading off in center field. Carl Warwick is the right fielder. He'll bat second. Dick Grote is the shortstop. He'll bat third. Ken Boyer is the third baseman. He'll bat fourth. James, the left fielder, will bat fifth. Bill White, the first baseman, bats sixth. Julian Javier, the second baseman, will bat seventh. Someone by the name of Bob Uecker, I have no idea who he is, will bat eighth. And Bob Gibson, who, when we had a few weeks ago against the Giants in St. Louis, was shelled. He gets the game 1 start, and he will bat ninth. And so with all that, let's get going. Flood steps in the box with a 12-game hitting streak, 356, no homers, and 23 RBI. This is game 53 for the Cardinals and game 51 for the Giants. Henley's pitcher is a little nubber down the line at first. Cepeda flips it over to Henley, and that's how this one starts with an out. Carl Warwick, the batter. Carl at 234, no homers and 6 RBI. This, by the way, this ballpark I had to redo when I switched computers, and there is an auto layout function in the 2017 version of Action Baseball PC, or PC Baseball, and while it wasn't correct, it made it a lot easier to move stuff around. I'm not sure anything's going to be on that ticker, by the way. There's only one other day game, the Cubs and the Mets from Shea, and if it doesn't pop up, I'll tell you who won, because I do know. Warwick at 234, no homers and 6 RBI. Pitch to Carl, ground ball to second. Hiller, Cepeda, 2 out. Here's Dr. Strangelove, Dick Groat, at 295, a homer and 32 RBI. Here's the pitch. There's a line drive base hit in the hole and right. So the first hit of the ball game for St. Louis, and I'll bring up Ken Boyer. At 281, 11 homers and 41 RBI. James on deck if Boyer should extend the inning. Henley delivers, struck him out. A 2-2 pitch. He looked at it. Can't look at those. After one half of one inning, there's no score. So let's tell you the defense around Bob Gibson first. It's James in left. Kurt Flood in center. He's 10 range and a 9 arm. Carl Warwick is average in right. Ken Boyer, Dick Groat, Julian Javier, and Bill White around the infield. That's a pretty good defensive infield. Groat is a 7. The rest are 9s, and Bill White is a 10. And Bob Uecker, don't let the persona fool you. He was a decent catcher. He couldn't hit. But, 5 range and a 5 arm. So he's the one that gets to catch Mr. Gibson's ire this evening. And here's how the Giants will line up for you. It's Chuck Heller leading off. Willie Mays batting second. This is an as-played lineup, so Duke Snyder will bat third. Orlando Cepeda will clean up. Willie McCovey bats fifth. Tom Holler, the catcher, bats sixth. Hart will bat seventh. Garrido, I don't remember his first name off the top of my head, will bat eighth. And Henley, who threw 18 pitches, will bat ninth. There's no game showing on the ticker. The Cubs beat the Mets 7-5. And the Cubs are in first place. You would never, or the Cubs, no, that's in the 46 replay run. The Cubs, never mind. Both teams aren't all that great. Here's Hiller. He's at 152. A homer and 5 RBIs. Ground ball to Javier. Over to White. 1 out. Here's Willie Mays. Willie at 302, 11 homers and 32 RBI. If the Giants are to make a big push, that power number needs to go up. Pitch to Mays, fly ball left center. Flood runs over, 2 out. Here's Duke Snyder at 221, 1 homer and 5 RBI. Gibson delivers, fly ball to right. Warwick's there for the out. It'll be Charlie James. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1, it's early, folks. It's St. Louis nothing, San Francisco nothing. So all that to tell you, this is a true doubleheader. It'll be in 2 different videos, but they both will be up on this Wednesday, and we'll have, I believe, the full ticker for you for Game 2. James is at 257, 7 homers and 25 RBI. Pitch from Henley, strike 3. That's a second strikeout. 1-2 was swung on and missed. James has 3 homers against the Giants this year. Here's White. Bill kind of slumping. 253, 6 homers and 33 RBI. He delivers. There's a fly ball in the right. That's going to drop for a base hit. I realize I can give you Bob Gibson's numbers. Oh, well. Do that in a second. So here's Javier with White on first. Fully in at 241, right on the number. 3 homers and 12 RBI. Second hit for St. Louis. Pitch from Henley, ground ball up the middle. Hiller takes it to second for 1 over Cepeda for 2. A nice play because it looked like he came in to get it and ran to the bag himself. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After an inning and a half, no score. And so I was remiss not to give you the numbers for Bob Gibson. Up to the moment, the ERA is 3.81. His record is an un-Gibson-like 5-4. He went 19-12 on the real year. 85 innings, 84 hits, 7 home runs, 27 walks, and 76 strikeouts. And that bad start he had a couple weeks ago, really figuring in those. He just not enough of a sample size yet to make that all even out. Here's Cepeda Orlando at 321, 9 homers and 23 RBI. McCovey and Holler to follow, and Hart should anyone reach. Gibson plunks him. First pitch nails him on the leg. So, don't you dig in against me, young man. Cepeda with an 85% chance to steal. Guess what we're going to do? There goes Cepeda. There will be no throw from Euchre. So that's 3 for Orlando. And here's McCovey at 201, 6 homers and 18 RBI. So, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Cepeda's on second. Nobody out here in the 1-strike count to McCovey. Pitch. McCovey draws a walk. 3-1 curve below and outside. And then I'll bring up Tom Haller at 296, 6 homers and 21 RBI. And so after a quick first, Gibson in some moderate trouble here in the second. Here's the pitch. Haller hits that one into left center. That's going to score Cepeda. McCovey will hold on the double. James took too long to try and play, and he couldn't track it down. And so the Giants go up 1-0. Jim Ray Hart, the batter. Jim at 299, 11 homers and 30 RBI. Giants now lead 1-0. Pitch from Gibson. It's popped up. Ken Boyer should have it at third. He does. 1 out. It's Gilgery, though. No wonder why I don't remember him. He had 25 at-bats in the real year. He's had 24 in the replay. At 125, no homers and an RBI. Here's the pitch. There's a little looper in the left that's going to score, too, as James kind of boots that one around. McCovey and Holler score. It's a hit and an E7, and it's 3-0 San Francisco. And Bob Gibson, you can see the veins just bulging in his neck and head. So I'll bring up the pitcher, Bob Henley, who will bunt here with 1 out. He lays it down. It'll be Euchre over to first, and that makes the out. The sacrifice works. If you're scoring at home and it's a fake game, dear Lord, why would you do that? It goes 2-4 on the sacrifice. So I'll bring up Chuck Hiller. Bob Gibson, 21 pitches for his first 9 hitters, but it's an inning and 2/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned in a walk. Again, un-Gibson-like numbers, and his ERA jumps to over 4. Hiller was retired his first time up. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to second. Javier to White, and that ends the inning. Not before the Giants score 3 on 2 hits and 1 error. Gibson throws the glove in the dugout. We go to the third. 3-0 San Francisco. So it'll be Euchre, Gibson, and Flood for the Cardinals here in the third. Euchre at 129. That's not his weight. That's his batting average. No homers and no RBI. He did have a real-life homer in 64 and 106 at-bats. Euchre draws a walk. Baseball Digest best game ever right there. He drew a walk, so he's on first. And then I'll bring up Gibson, who is at 148, no homers and 3 RBI. Giants dare him to bunt. Hart and Cepeda come in. He does. It's down. That's a good bunt, actually. Cepeda flips it over to Hiller, and the sacrifice works. So 3-4 on the bunt. And Bob Henley, through 2 1/3 in his first 9 hitters, has thrown a not so tidy 42 pitches. But he is on the right side of a 3-0 score, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. And with a win, he would go 2-5. Kurt Flood the batter. Kurt is 0 for 1. Euchre on second, 1 out here in the top of the third. Flood on a 12-game hitting streak. Ground ball to Hiller, over to Cepeda, 2 out. So Euchre moves over to third. And here comes Warwick. He's 0 for 1. Pitch, there's a fly ball to right. Snyder will track it down, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2.5, it's San Francisco 3, St. Louis 0. And so Bob Gibson, who now is on the wrong side of a 3-0 game, will face Willie Mays, Duke Snyder, and Orlando Cepeda. Mays is 0 for 1. Gibson's pitch is a drive in the center. Flood is there, 1 out. 1 pitch. Here's Snyder. It's amazing that Gibson hasn't struck anyone out yet. Here's a little looper in the center, so Snyder will reach on a single. Here's Cepeda. He was plunked his first time up, and that started all the trouble. Pitch to Cepeda up the middle. Gibson knocks it down over to Javier for 1, to White for 2. Call it 2 on the 1-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3, San Francisco 3, St. Louis nothing. So here is Dick Grote, Ken Boyer, and Charlie James here in the 4th for St. Louis. Grote singled his first time up. He's 1 for 1. Pitch from Henley. There is now 2 for 2 as he lines that one into right field for a single. Here's Ken Boyer. He struck out his first time up. 1 of 2 from Henley this afternoon. Ground ball, base hit right side. So the Cardinals are in business here in the 4th. For Charlie James, who was the other strikeout victim. For Henley up to 57 pitches. Pitch, ground ball to short. Garrido to Hiller for 1. To Cepeda, that's 2. So another pitcher's best friend, and all of a sudden 2 out. Grote on 3rd for Bill White, who was 1 for 1 with a single. Henley delivers, strike 3. He got him to check his swing on a 2-2 curve. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 3.5, it's San Francisco 3, St. Louis nothing. So McCovey, Holler, and Hart for the Giants here in the 4th. The reason why the ticker's bare, it's a doubleheader, and they didn't want to play everything all at once. Cubs and Mets played earlier. The Cubs won. Day game here. We'll have the ticker for the nightcap. Both of these games are day games. From San Francisco. Oh, I never gave you the weather. 65 degrees. Winds are blowing straight out the center at 14, out into the parking lot. Wind, of course, was a huge problem here at Candlestick before the stadium was enclosed in 71 when the 49ers moved in. So, and the wind blew so hard in the 62 All-Star game, or the second 62 All-Star game, because they played 2 in that era, Stu Miller was blown off the mound and was called for a balk. As the old quote attributed to Mark Twain, the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. It fits. Here's McCuffey. He walked and scored his first time up. And he draws a walk again. So McCuffey reaches. Full count pitch was just outside. Second walk for Gibson to no strikeouts. Here's Tom Holler. He doubled. Drove in a run. His 22nd and scored. And that 3-run second inning. Pitch to Holler. That's popped up. That's better. Javier is there. 1 out. So here's Jim Ray Hart. He's 0 for 1. Garrido on deck. There's a line drive, and Grote leaps and makes the catch. A Webb gem if you ever saw one. Just kind of stuck the glove up on the leap, and look, Mom, what I found. A baseball. So here's Gil Garrido. He singled and drove in a run. That was the second RBI of the year. 2 out here in the 4th. Pitch from Gibson, ground ball to 3rd. Boyer with a bang-bang play over to 1st, not in time. And so Garrido hustled down the line, and Boyer couldn't get him. It was a decent throw. Garrido was just that much faster. So 1st and 2nd and 2 out for Bob Henley, the pitcher, who had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. Gibson delivers, and there's a fly ball to center. Flood will have it. In that, retires aside. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 4 in the opener of this twin bill. The Giants 3, the Cardinals nothing. So Javier, Euchre, and Gibson here in the 5th. For Bob Henley, Julian is 0 for 1. Right back to Henley, 1 out. So here's Euchre. 15 walks for Bob already this season. He only walked 17 times in 106 at-bats. Henley's ready. Here's the pitch. He walks again. So Gibson will bat here with 1 out. 2 walks for Bob Uecker. Gibson swings, and there's a ground ball to short. Only play is to first, and Gibson is retired. Uecker moves to second. Does the same thing as a sac bunt. So here's Kurt Flood, still on that 12-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 2. Henley, through the first 18 batters, 4 2/3 innings, 82 pitches. He's allowed 4 hits. He has struck out, or walked 2 and struck out 3. Pitch to Flood. There's a little chopper down to first. Cepeda over to Henley, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home from Candlestick, it's 3-0 San Francisco. So Bob Gibson will face the top of the Giant lineup here in the 5th. Hiller, Mays, and Snyder. Through 18 batters, it's a neat and tidy 60 pitches for Gibson in 4 innings, 4 hits. But a bad second put 3 runs, all earned on the board. He has walked 2 and failed to strike out anybody, which is very unusual. Here's the pitch, and he won't strike out Hiller. White takes it to himself, and there's 1 out. Here's Willie Mays. He's 0 for 2. Pitch from Gibson. There's a fly ball left center. Back goes Flood, and it's gone. The 12th of the year for Mays, and it's 4-0 San Francisco. The slide rule says 377. Looked like it was a little further than that. And so the Giants look in good shape to snap their 6-game losing streak here. On this 10th day of June, 1964. Here's Duke Snyder. Do you think Gibson throws inside to Snyder here? Duke is 1 for 2 with a single. Fly ball, right side, out of play. Hey, you know what? I got that right. Where to put the foul territory markers. How about that? A ball and 2 strikes and 1 out. Here's the pitch. Snyder pops this one to the third base side, foul and out of play. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Snyder draws a walk. Gibson lost him from a 1-2 count to ball 4. They'll bring up Cepeda. Cepeda was hit and is 0 for 1. There's a fly ball to left. James has it, 2 out. No runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Cardinals. They've stranded 4. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Giants. No errors, and they've stranded 3 so far. Here's McCovey. Willie hasn't taken the bat off the shoulders. He's walked twice and scored. Stops this one foul, third base side. Glad to see all the foul ball markers work. And he got him. An 0-2 pitch right down Broadway, and Gibson gets his first strikeout of the ballgame. 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors on the Mays bomb to left center. After 5, it's the Giants 4, the Cardinals nothing. So Warwick, Grote, and Ken Boyer here in the 6th for St. Louis. Bob Henley is given the fatigue warning. 35 pitches early. So we will now nurse him through maybe 2 innings, although he would bat 4th in the bottom of the 6th. It will be Haller, Hart, and Garrido for the Giants in the bottom half of the 6th. Harl Warwick starts us off in the top of the 6th, and he hits a fly ball foul left side out of play. And he strikes out. 1-2 pitch was swung on and foul tipped into Howler's glove. 1 out. Dick Grote, the batter. Dick has singled twice. Now hitting .301 on the year. Pitch from Henley. There's a chopper up the middle. Hiller to Cepeda, 2 out. Here's Kenny Boyer. Kenny 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out. 1 of 4 strikeout victims for Henley. And that make it 5 as he swings and misses on an 0-2 pitch. So another clean inning for Henley. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5.5, it's the Giants 4, the Cardinals nothing. So Tom Haller, Jim Ray Hart, and Gil Garrido here to face Gibson in the 6th. Tom is 1 for 2. He has doubled RBI and scored himself in the 2nd. And he's going to flare that one into right for a single. 6 hit for the Giants. Here's Jim Ray Hart. He's 0 for 2. Pitch from Gibson. Struck him out. A 1-2 pitch at the belt. So Gibson finally finding his spots. And here's Garrido, who is single twice. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI. 1 out. Wind still blowing out the center at 14. It's a nice day here, 66 degrees. Struck him out on a 2-2 pitch. Garrido didn't like the call. Gibson kind of snarls and tells Bob Henley to get his butt in there. Henley does, and he'll strike out. He got the side. Swung on and missed an 0-2 breaking ball. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 6 at Candlestick, 4-0 San Francisco. So Charlie James, Bill White, and Julian Javier for the Cardinals here in the 7th. Charlie is 0 for 2. He is struck with 1 strikeout. Henley probably his last inning. We'll see how it goes. James strikes out. He swung at a bad breaking ball. Haller had to tag him, and there's 1 out. 0-2 count. That'll bring up Bill White, who was 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. Henley has pitched a pretty good ball game. On the right side of a 4-0 lead here in the top of the 7th. Struck him out. Swing and a miss, so Henley's going to end this one on a flourish. He struck out 7 tonight. Or this afternoon. Julian Javier is 0 for 2. Liner right to Garrido, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Henley has earned at least another to start the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Stretch time at the stick. 4-0 Giants. And it'll be the top of the lineup for Gibson here. Hiller, Mays, and Snyder. Now 27 batters deep into his performance. Gibson has thrown 101 pitches. That's pretty good. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. The home run to Mays, he has walked 3 and struck out 4, but he struck out 4 of the last 9. Pitch to Hiller, make it 5 out of 10 as he gets him to swing and miss on a 2-2 fastball. So 5 for Gibson as he finally has found his groove here. Now let's see what happens to Mays. 1 for 3, but Mays hit the home run in the 5th to make it 4-0. Fly ball to left center. Flood has it, 2 out. If Gibson should lose this, he will fall to 5-5 on the year. Now I know that the late 60s were his gravy years, but still, in '64 he was a 19-game winner. Here's Duke Snyder. Duke is singled, 1 for 2 with a walk. And there's a little flare down the line and right. Warwick is over, and he makes the catch to retire the side. You're telling me Henley's out of gas. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 7. We're going to have a pitching change here. Henley just shakes his head and says, I'm done. 4-0. So we give the game to Gaylord Perry, who was not supposed to start for another 20 days. Gaylord is 2-0 on the year. The Spitballer's ERA is 1.15 in 15 innings. He's allowed 16 hits, so a home run. He has walked 3 and struck out 9, and this is his 2 innings to get. It'll be Euchre, probably a pinch hitter for Gibson, even though pitch count-wise he's fine, and Kurt Flood. Euchre has walked twice. He has not taken the bat off the shoulders. And he won't take the bat off the shoulders as a 1-2 curve is swung on and missed strike 3. So let's see what they do with Gibson here. He's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. He will not hit. Doug Clemens is the pinch hitter. I forgot to change that, so they didn't tell me that. Clemens is at 274, 1 homer and 11 RBI. It's good sense to pull Gibson. He's trailing by 4. Perry's pitch is a ground ball to Hiller over to Cepeda, 2 out. Yes, it is unusual back in this day and age to pull a pitcher who has a shutout, but if he was out of gas, then there's just no real reason to leave him in. The object is to win these games. Here's Kurt Flood. He's 0 for 3. Perry's pitch. There's a little number down to Garrido. Over to Cepeda, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 7.5 in the books as Bobby Shantz comes and takes the hill for St. Louis. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-0 Giants. So Cepeda, McCovey, and Holler for the Giants here in the bottom of the 8th. Let's tell you about Bobby Shantz. 1-1 with 1 save in a 5.84 ERA. In 12 innings, he's allowed 23 hits, walked 3 and struck out 15. He's very hittable. It would tell me that the Cardinals are conceding the opening game. I hope not, but that's what it tells me. Cepeda is 0 for 2. Was plunked by Gibson in the second, and that was the first of 3 runs to eventually score. There's a ground ball to short. Grote to White, 1 out. Here's McCovey. Willie does not hit lefties well. But Harvey Keene does, and so we will pinch hit him. Harvey is at 300, no homers and 7 RBI. Here's a ground ball to Grote again. That was hit hard. Over to White, 2 out. Here's Tom Holler. They'll bat him. You're up 4. No runs, 4 hits, an error for St. Louis. They've stranded 4. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and the Giants have left 5 on. Here's a little looper into left field, so Holler is now 3 for 4 with that single. And here's Jim Ray Hart, who was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Pitch from Shantz is strike 3. No runs, no hits, no error, or 1 hit, no errors. No 2 fastball on the outside corner. We go to the 9th. Warwick, Grote, and Boyer due up for the Cardinals. The Giants lead 4-0. So let's see what they do with Carl Warwick. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Harvey Keene stays in the game. He'll bat 5th, and if he has to bat 5th, we're in trouble. And is in left field. He's a 4 range and a 3 arm. Pitch to Warwick up the middle, base hit. Garrido couldn't get there, and I should have replaced him. Oh well, here's Grote, 2 for 3. Dick is singled twice. Warwick on first. Perry's ready. Here's the pitch. Little chopper down to Hiller, and he boots it and will make no play. Hit him on the chest like a hockey shot, like a wrister, and Hiller couldn't do anything with it. If he was a goalie, he would have just sat there and covered it for the face-off. But this is baseball. Perry and Boyer aren't going to be exchanging sticks at the face-off circle. So here's Ken Boyer, 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out twice. Chopper to third. Hart's only play is to first for the out. 1 out for Charlie James, who's 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Perry's ready. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. A 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. He wanted a breaking ball. Perry never threw a hard fastball, but hard enough here. So here's Bill White, Cardinals' last chance. He's 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And the 1 hit was a single. I don't think the Cardinals have an extra base hit today. Pitch to White, ground ball to short. Garrido to Cepeda, and the Giants shut him out 4-0. So Bob Henley picks up the win. He goes to 2-5. The Giants did not. Oh, that's what I didn't do. The box scores are a bit different. The Cardinals did not have an extra base hit. Gaylord Perry, by the way, does not pick up the save. He goes 2 innings, 1 hit, strikes out 2 on 29 pitches. Plus stuff. 2 hours and 41 minutes to play the first game. So if this game started at 12:10 Pacific time or 3:10 Eastern time, when you would have seen this, so 6:10. So the second game would be technically at 6:40 Eastern time, 3:40 there. So let's go through the short recap 3 in the second for the Giants. They sent 7 to the plate, scoring 3 on 2 hits, a walk and an error. Tom Holler with a double that scored Cepeda to make it 1-0. And then Gil Garrido singled, and it was misplayed by Charlie James. 2 would end up scoring on that single lead 7, and that's all the Giants would need today. They went up 3-0. And in the 5th, Willie Mays with a solo shot to left center to make it 4-0. And that was it. Tom Holler, 3 for 4 in the game, 1 with a double. Bob Henley, 7 fantastic innings, 4 hits, no runs, walked 2 and struck out 7. He moves to 2-5. Bob Gibson, he was San Francisco's treat this afternoon. 7 innings, 4 runs, all earned, 6 hits. The homer to Mays. He walked 3 and struck out 5. And so there, and he goes to 5-5 on the year. Oh boy. And so there you have it. We won't release these at the same time, but if you check back later today, game 2 of this twin bill between the Giants and the Cardinals, San Francisco takes the opener 4-0. And so we'll see you in a few minutes. Until then, I'm Ron Jeckett for Retro Sports Network. We'll talk to you the next time.